Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to the first episode of our Metal Legends series. Today we will be talking about Manowar and will answer 5 questions about the band. But before we begin, we want to issue a warning for all the moms and dads out there. Please do not expose your 13-year-old son to this. My mom and dad let me listen to this when I was 13 years old, and this is the result. So consider yourself warned. Now that we fulfill our social responsibility, let's get on with our video. First question. While looking from the outside, Manowar's lyrics and outfits may seem a little bit over the top for many people. However, those people are missing 2 things. First, Manowar fans are not stupid. They do not take anything literally. I mean, I don't feel like stabbing people with my sword when I listen to Manowar. And second, we are not Manowar fans because of the way they dressed, or because of the lyrics, or because of the things they talk about. We are Manowar fans because of the way the band makes us feel. I mean, when I'm angry, frustrated, or down, a good Manowar song can lift me up and make me feel better for the rest of the day. So, those people who don't understand that are missing a lot. And all Manowar fans throughout the world know what I'm talking about.
And in their final hour, they shall confess before they die.
Well, the first album would be Sign of the Hammer. I mean, the first 2 songs, All Men Play on 10 and especially Animals, are a bit weak for my taste, but the rest of the album is outstanding. Thor and Mountains and Sign of the Hammer, The Oath, even Joy's little bass solo ties very nicely to Guyana, which is one of my all-time favorite songs, make up a very, very good album. The second album would be Into Glory Ride. And if you think that it was produced in 1983, it's kind of a revolutionary album. It carries some of the 70s vibes with long songs and nice passages, and songs like The Gates of Valhalla, March for Revenge, Secrets of Steel and Gloves of Metal are quite outstanding songs. And the third one would be Kings of Metal. It's the first Manowar album I've ever listened to, and to this day is one of their most successful albums. And tracks like Wheels of Fire and Hail and Kill, Blood of the Kings, Kings of Metal and even Kingdom Come are still some of the anthems that Manowar ever created. Well, 5 songs is a bit tricky to choose, but I will do my best. The first one is actually easy. It's Guyana, Cult of the Damned, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. The wonderful bass intro and Eric's soaring vocals and the thunderous drums make up for a wonderful song. It's very rare for Manowar to talk about real-life events, and in Guyana that's what they do. They tell the story of Jim Jones, a cult leader who had his followers commit suicide in Guyana. And Eric tells the story from the perspective of the cult followers, and they make a very good job conveying this heartbreaking story. The second song would be Blackwind, Fire and Steel. In fact, if you would ask me to name one song that defines Manowar, this would be it. Joy, Ross and Scott play like a freight truck, and Eric kills it. Just kills it. Just listen to the last scream. He screams for 30 seconds. This is a heavy metal masterpiece. The third song would be Battle Hymn, an epic included in their debut that shows what the band is capable of and what is to come with their next albums. The perfect harmony between Joy, Ross and Donnie in the opening riffs and Eric's soaring vocals tell the birth of a giant for anyone willing to listen. Battle Hymn was, still is and will forever remain a heavy metal anthem. The fourth song would be Wheels of Fire, a relentless show of speed and talent from the first note to the last. Actually, Wheels of Fire is the first Manowar song I've ever listened to and is largely responsible for me becoming a Manowar fan for life. Eric perfectly describes my feelings for the first time I was listening to this song. My heart is pounding, my blood is nitroglycerin, on fire, burning, burning! And last but not least, Achilles, Agony and Ecstasy in 8 parts. I remember the time between Kings of Metal and the Triumph of Steel. We waited for 4 years and we were all anxious to see what would Manowar do to top such a successful and wonderful album. And Manowar's answer to that question was a 28-minute, 8-part epic song, telling the story of the War of Troy. Eric, Joy and the 2 new members, David Schenkel and Rhino, were showing their musicianship and talent. Manowar did a perfect job depicting the first battle with Hector storms the wall. Then we hear Achilles lament for his lost friend Patroclus and witness Patroclus' funeral. After that, we hear Rhino proving his worth by hammering the armor of the gods with a 3-minute drum solo. All in all, the band does a wonderful job conveying the anger and frustration and bloodlust of Achilles and the quiet contemplative final hours of Hector in this wonderful masterpiece.
Give us your word for the grand final stand. Guyana! To win, that is why we are
For me,
here.
the best lineup would be Eric and Joy, of course, and then Ross the Boss and Rhino. I mean, Carl Logan and David Schenkel are good guitarists in their own right, but Ross the Boss was a very large part of the Manowar magic. His solos and use of open chords created a very distinct and unique sound for Manowar, and I believe his loss was never recovered. And Rhino, although he played in only one album, was a beast of a drummer. And I'm very sorry that we couldn't get to hear his drumming in any other album.
Today, we will overcome. When the game is over, all the counting's done. We were born to win, number one.
Well, yeah, let me think. First of all, do you know that it was actually Ronnie James Dio who introduced Joey to Ross? See, Joey was touring with Black Sabbath as a bass technician in 1980, and Ross the Boss was the guitarist of Shaking Street, who was the opener for Black Sabbath in that tour. And Ronnie brought them together, and they sat down and started jamming, and that's how Manowar was born. It's a fun little fact, but Guinness actually removed the loudest band in the world category after Manowar's record. They were afraid that some other bands would cause permanent hearing loss in their audience by trying to break the record. So, Manowar will remain forever the loudest band in the world. Do you know that when asked about his opinions about Metallica, Joey DeMaio actually said, "I'm sorry, I don't listen to country music." I mean, of course he didn't mean that, but it's a funny statement that is in line with Joy's general character and attitude. Another fun fact is that Manowar actually got 2 legendary actors, Orson Welles and Sir Christopher Lee, to do the spoken parts in The Dark Avenger. I actually wondered for a long time how did they got such a legend as Orson Welles to do it, and actually the band is still wondering the same thing. In an interview in 2009, Ross the Boss actually said that they are still not sure how and why Orson Welles accepted to do it. In addition to being the loudest band in the world, Manowar also holds the record for the longest heavy metal concert in history with a 5-hour and 1-minute show they did in 2008 in Kavarna, Bulgaria. Well, that's it for our first Metal Legends video, guys. I hope you liked it. We will most likely be talking about Manowar a lot in our future videos. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video if you liked it, and turn on the notifications. See you in our next video. Until then, keep the horns up and stay metal.
Defender. Ride like the wind. Fight proud. Defender. God